Good day, everyone. This session will let us discover how we can clean and interpret data based from the tallied record of Google Forms. I hope you will be with us until the end of this session. Let me share my screen. Okay. From the Google portal, you have to open the Google Forms, and at the same time from the recent form, I have here the answered Google form. That was the evaluation of the 2022 SLMCS research training session and updates. We have to click responses, and I will not be accepting responses here. So that would mean that this Google form is already closed. So I have to click not accepting responses, and that would turn from green to red. After that, you have to click this somehow uh, particular flag, a green flag, in order for you to generate a spreadsheet. And after generating the spreadsheet, you have to click the file and then download, and then click on Microsoft Excel, that XLSX. That would automatically be downloaded under here, the lower portion of your left side. So you have to click that file, and that would definitely open the Microsoft Excel. You'll notice that this is under protected view. So we will be enabling editing here. So just click that one so that you can try to already edit this one. So I will be cutting first this information because this is already confidential. And from here, we are prompted uh, to have this data. We have here from program and at the same time from the speaker one. We have to clean this data. And how do we do that? By using some formulas that were very beneficial to the counting as well as computing for the number of department, or at the same time number of tallied records here. So say for instance, we have to count the number of responses coming from BED, HED, Gubat Campus, and SHS. So we'll be trying to input here the HED, BED, Gubat. We also have here SSP, and then the SHS. So we have here HED, BED, Gubat Campus, SSP. We will be counting each of the departments here under this range. How do we do that? By simply making the computation or inputting the formula for COUNTIF. So type equals sign COUNTIF, open parentheses. You have to select this range. After selecting that range, B2 to B43, you have to click F4. The purpose of F4 is for the range not to be moving from one side to another side once you drag uh, the the formula. So aside from that, you have to click comma and then select HED. You don't need to press F4 when selecting a particular indicator such as HED. So close parentheses, and then you'll be prompted to 5. You can double click this thin black arrow so that the formula will be copied uh, downwards up to the last portion. So you'll notice that The counting for the HED, for the BED, as well as GUBAT, SSP, and SHS were already counted. And then we will be computing the total. So total is equal to the sum of this range, close parenthesis, enter. So we'll be having the total as 42 respondents. So we have 42 respondents, and that is already correct. So how do we present this data in terms of tabular presentation? We can open the Microsoft Word where you are trying to present, and then open a blank document. We can try to put it side by side. So simply, we'll just be inserting table. Ayan, at least four by 2, 4, 6, 7, 4 by 7. So we have here 4. We'll be placing here the department. We'll be placing here the uh, frequency. We'll be placing here the percentage. And we'll be placing here the rank. Ayan. So from department, we have HED, BED, GUBAT, SSP, SHS, then the total. So let's put this the center. All right. So we have the counting 5, 14, 4, 1, 18, and then the total 42. How do we place percentage here? So simply we have to put equal sign, click the number 5 there, divided by 42. We have to put open and close parentheses here, and then multiply by 100. So that would result to 11.90. How do we convert this into two decimal places? You only need to click this one. Yeah. So that would result to 11.90. In order for you to copy the formula again, we have to lock the B52 or the total so that it won't be moving from one place to another place. We will not be putting F4 here, or will not be clicking F4 under B47, because once we try to copy, it must move. So B52 must have the F4 or the lock portion. And then you have to drag it down. Then presto, you have now the percentage into decimal places. Put the sum that must be equal to 100%. Let's try. So we have now 100%. Another one, we also have here the ranking. How do we put rank? Simply click equal sign, put rank, and then click the number, open parenthesis, click the number, comma, reference would talk about the range. So you have to highlight the range where you are trying to rank. Press F4 for it to be locked, as you only have one particular range, kaya kailangan nakalock yan. Nakalock ang placement. So, comma, we have here 0. And then we click 0 if it's descending. That would mean from highest percentage to lowest percentage. Highest percentage means rank 1. Lowest percentage means rank uh, the last portion. So that would mean that 11.9 is rank 3. So just copy and paste this one. So we have now the rank 1. the rank 2, the rank 3, 4, and then 5. We can now place this under our data. So you'll just need to copy this. So we have 3. Just copy the information there and then paste the text. You can try to edit it by simply clicking different formatting. So we will be having here this particular table. Let us zoom in. So how do we structure this in our data? In making table, we usually try to delete the left side. You have to click only layout and then proceed to eraser, then erase the side lines here. Ayan, din-delete po natin. Draw table, proceed to draw table. Then click double lines here and then you have to click the double lines here so that it would be better, or at the same time it would be a standard table for us to use. Yan. So we have now the data of the respondents coming from the different departments. So the maximum response we got were from the senior high school, Gubat, as well as BED and HED. So we have now the table. So we usually title that as table 1.0 respondents. So we have here table 1.0 as our respondents. So that would be the tabular presentation for the COUNTIF function that we have in this tally record. So we already have the tally record for the counting of this one, responses coming from the different departments. Now, how do we try to at least interpret this? How do we interpret this? We have to still clean this data. So by doing that, we have to format the tally record in a more appropriate manner. So we have to select this one and then click the, what do you call this one? The orientation of the text, or text orientation. Rotate text upward. And then after that, you have to select everything and click the middle portion of A and B twice, as well as click the middle portion of 1 and 2 twice. So you'll be directed in this kind of material, but you still need to click unfreeze, because this is freeze. As you can see here, once you try to scroll this one, you will not be seeing data. So as much as possible, highlight this one and then you need to click unfreeze. Whereas we have to click the freeze pane and then click unfreeze, so that you can already see the data that are presented here. So yan. We have now the data from the program itself. These are the data coming from the program. And we also have here so we have now the data from the program only. Okay, we just need to add at least more uh, more columns here so that we can try to illustrate examples on how we do data cleaning or data interpretation on this matter. So we have here the indexes presented on your Google form. That is A from registration, and the index is started on time, and so on and so forth. A to D. How do we interpret those things? So we only need to get the mean of these individual indexes. So by doing that, we have to still use the count if function. We have to place here, let's zoom in, 5 4 3 2 1, 5 4 3 2 1. And then how do we count 5? By clicking count if, select the range, all right, so we have to select the range, click F4, and then we have here the criteria as 5. So yeah, then you can already click enter. And after that, you can already copy and paste them. So we have here the total again. That must be equal to 42. Let's try. Equal to total or sum. Highlight this one. Enter. So we have 42. Now, how do we place what do you call this one? How do we place formula here? Simply by having this formula again, but you have to edit it already. So copy and paste the formula, but the formula must be coming from this particular range already. Ayan. Control Shift, then and then click F4, 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 yan. C45, that would be this one. C45, hindi siya C, kundi letter B. Okay, 21. Ayan. We also have here this one. We have 42. Now, how about this one? We can still drag this one by simply removing already the lock portion, and you will be locking already the B42. Ayan. All right, we can already copy and paste this here. So we have now the complete set of counting or the count if function. So they all have 42. So how do we try to compute for the for the mean. So click mean here, or at the same time type. Then we'll be inputting the formula, open parentheses. We have here 24 times or multiplied by 5 F4, press F4 plus we have open parentheses, select C46 multiplied by B46, press F4, close parenthesis plus open parenthesis. We have to select C47 multiplied by B47, click F4, close parenthesis plus open parenthesis. We have here, click C48 multiplied by B48, press F4, close parenthesis plus sign, close, open parenthesis, click C49 multiplied by B49, press F4 again, then close parenthesis, double parenthesis, and then you have to divide it by the total. So we'll be having here 4.5. So let's try to the other indexes. So we have now here the mean 4.5, 4.6, 4.6. Oh, they are all high. Congratulations. All right. So how do we interpret this one? So let's now try to compute on a particular legend that the 5 Likert scale under this portion would be interpreted. So the highest possible score is 5, the lowest possible score is 1. That would be subtracted from each other. So 5 minus 1, that would equal to 4. And then you have to divide 4 by 5 because we'll be trying to create a 5 Likert scale or 5 legend scale. So 4 divided by 5, that would equal to 0.8, I think. So we have 4 divided by 5 equals, oh, all right. We have 0.08. So we have 0.8 as our gap. The lowest possible score is 1.00 plus 0.08, zero 0.8. We have 1.8, enter. So 1.8 plus 0.8 equals, we have 2.6. 2.6 plus zero 0.8, we have 3.4 plus zero 0.8 again, we have 4.2, and then the highest possible score is 5.00. So we'll now be having here, after 1.80, that would be equal to 1.81. After 2.6, we have 2.61. After 3.4, we have 3.41. After 4.20, we have 4.21. So yeah, we already have here a particular, what do you call this one? A particular legend. So let's just try to format it into 2 decimal places. So we have now here 2 decimal places, and then we have to interpret this one. All right, so their responses there was, what do you call this one? Their responses are interpreted as excellently achieved, satisfactorily achieved, achieved, fairly achieved, and then not achieved. So we'll be trying to put it here. So we have here not achieved, place not achieved. We also have fairly achieved, and then we also have achieved, satisfactorily achieved, next one. And then the next one is excellently achieved. So we have now here the interpretation for our evaluation of the last training session. So how do we try to input those things here? We have to simply create our indicators 1.00, 1.01 up until the 5.00. So you have to copy and paste it here up to 5.00. All right, so we have now here 5.00, and we have to only place here the different uh, indicators here. So 1.00 to 1.80, we have now the not achieved. So we place here not achieved until 1.08. So we have 1.08, 1.8 rather. Uh, so yeah, not achieved. We also have here fairly achieved 1.81 to 2.6. 1.81 to 2.6, fairly achieved. Fairly achieved. Ayan. We have up to until 2.6. 2.6. Ayan. 2.61 to 3.4 we have achieved. Ayan. To 3 point, what is that? 3.4, right? Right. So we have achieved. We have also 3.41 to 4.20 satisfactorily achieved. Ayan. To 4.20. And then 4.21 to 5.00 is interpreted as excellently achieved. Right. 5.00. So now we have now here the proper formulation in order for us to interpret these automatically, the 4.5, 4.6, 4.6, and so on. So let us now try to place a particular formula for this one. We will be using the lookup function. So type lookup and then open parentheses. The lookup value is 4.5, comma. The lookup vector would be the first vector that are located here. So the 1.00, 1.01 until 5.0, 5.00 would be highlighted as the first range. So highlight them, press F4, press comma, and then the result vector here would now be the interpretation or the range of the interpretation. So you have to highlight not achieve until the excellently achieved and then click again F4. Then press uh, close parenthesis and press enter. So we will now be having here the interpretation for 4.5 as excellently achieved. Then copy and paste them. So most specifically, we have here almost excellently achieved except this one. What particular is satisfactory only. So you are talking about the logistics, food, accommodation, and technical were properly and sufficiently provided. So we only have here uh, satisfactorily achieved. So this is very good already because satisfactorily achieved is more than the achieved indicator. So how do we try to at least turn this into tabular presentation? You only need to copy this one and then the data that are here. So yan, you have to copy and paste it into Microsoft presentation or Microsoft Word presentation here. So I won't be copy and pasting so that this video will not be too lengthy. Okay po. So this is how we compute for the mean, and this is how we try to use a shortcut in terms of the manual or in terms of the computation of the mean or the weighted mean in our evaluation tool. So this can be copy and pasted, this one. You can copy and paste this already. You can copy and paste this already if instance you are going to present this still in your paper here. So I hope you learned something from our presentation, and this can be used, or this strategy is actually can be very helpful if you are assigned to evaluating different indexes from your institution, your agency, or department. So this may help you in conducting data analysis and in providing a faster transaction or result of your institution's evaluations and assessment. So I hope you learned something. Thank you so much for listening.